Hey guys, hope you're having a good day. In this video we'll have a look at an interesting study that looked at whether beauty is in the eye of the beholder. This phrase is a belief that is common norm and also attributed to the blue pill philosophy. The study was conducted in 2015, titled Individual Aesthetic Preferences for Faces Are Shaped Mostly by Environments, Not Genes, and conducted by authors Germine and her colleagues. To understand the genetic and environmental contributions to individual face preferences, they recruited almost 800 twin pairs through the Australian Twin Registry. The final sample comprised 547 monozygotic twin pairs, mean age 45, 415 female, and 214 same-sex dizygotic twin pairs, mean age 46, 160 female. They also analyzed data from a set of 660 singletons, mean age 41, 445 female, who completed the same measures as the twin sample. All tests were administered through the study website. They collected face attractiveness ratings from these participants. The task was to rate 200 faces on a scale of 1, very unattractive, to 7, very attractive. There was substantial agreement across participants about which faces were more or less attractive, also across male and female participants. However, average values can mask individual differences in preference. Now this is where it gets very interesting. Selecting two participants at random produced an average of only 48% agreement and 52% disagreement in face preferences. That means that 48% of the variation in face ratings can be explained by common preferences, those that overlap between two typical individuals, with the remaining 52% of the variation in face ratings attributable to individual face preferences, those who do not overlap between two typical individuals. Individual preference IP scores were estimated based on the correlation between a participant's ratings and the average ratings for each stimulus. That's already very interesting, as it already contributes substantial evidence to the thesis that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. One could say that beauty is halfway in the eye of the beholder. Next, they estimated the contributions of genetic and environmental factors to individual preferences for face attractiveness by comparing the correlation of face IP scores between monozygotic twins with the correlation of face IP, so individual preference scores, among dizygotic twins. That's relevant because although monozygotic and dizygotic twins share family environment to a similar extent, monozygotic twins share on average twice as much of their genetic variation as dizygotic twins. The correlation for face individual preference scores between monozygotic twins and between dizygotic twins can thus be used to estimate the proportion of variation in face individual preference that can be explained by variations in genes, shared environments and unshared environments. These two correlations did not significantly differ, indicating that most of the variance in face individual preference is likely attributable to environmental factors. The employed model gave point estimates for A, additive genetic, 22% and E, unshared environment, 78% parameters. So they concluded that most of the reliable variation in face individual preference was explained by the influence of unshared or individual environment, with a relatively small contribution from genetic variation and little to no contribution from shared environment. They conclude that their results, quote-unquote, provide a rare example of a complex, objectively measured, highly reliable and specific behavioral characteristic, meaning individual preference for facial attractiveness, that is shaped predominantly by environmental factors. So there we go, guys. Not only is half of our perception of attractiveness determined by individual attractiveness preferences, besides universal common preferences for looks, but it is also shaped by our individual environmental influences, meaning life experiences. This study lends substantial credibility to the common phrase that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I would say that we can change that phrase a little bit now. Beauty is halfway in the eye of the beholder and halfway universal. And our perception of beauty is shaped by our life experiences. Think about it. Many of us have a type. Isn't that already experience-based knowledge that points towards individual preferences when it comes to beauty? It appears natural to me that what we like and appeals to us through our personal timeline also shapes our taste and preferences. Thanks for watching, guys. I would very much appreciate a like, comment and a sub, and as always, stay awesome, folks.